What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We just got our hands on the latest issue of The Amazing Spider-Man, and it is absolutely insane. Seriously, if you thought the last few arcs were wild, you have seen nothing yet. This issue isn't just about a new threat or another classic villain showing up, it's also a massive piece of the puzzle for the entire Spider-Verse on Earth 616, and it completely recontextualizes everything we thought we knew about the man currently in the Spider-Man suit. And trust me, the main plot is mad enough, but the final page reveal? It just sent my jaw straight to the floor. You haven't even heard the wildest part yet. So grab your web shooters, buckle up, because we are diving deep into this spoiler-filled breakdown. Let's get into it. Alright, so the issue kicks off with something a little different, giving us a taste of the absolute chaos bubbling under the surface of New York City. We open on a podcast studio, and who else is behind the mic but the one and only J. Jonah Jameson in full-on rant mode. His guest is this super eccentric guy, Mr. Crenshaw, who insists on being called Hermes and is supposedly a Spider-Man expert. Hermes is going off on this wild theory that the city is being flooded with people from parallel universes, citing ancient legends from the Havasu Baja tribe about dimensional gateways and weird radiation spikes. It's exactly the kind of conspiracy stuff you'd expect. But this is Jameson we're talking about. He's not buying a single word of it. He cuts the guy off, calls his expertise into question, and then drops his own theory, which is somehow even more aggressive. Jameson believes the current Spider-Man isn't the original, but a swap from a harsher, more brutal dimension. The debate gets so heated that Jameson just straight up calls Hermes an idiot live on air. Classic Jonah. But right as it's about to become a full-on screaming match, Jameson gets an urgent message from someone named Zentaline, and it's so important that he just kills the whole segment. It's a funny opening, but it also plants a well-important seed for the audience, the idea of swaps, other dimensions, and this new Spider-Man being different. From there, we cut over to Rand Applied Science, and the mood shifts completely. We meet a scientist named Brian Naring who is just buzzing with excitement, talking about being so close to a Nobel Prize that he can taste it like Swedish fish. He's working with none other than Ben Reilly, the clone of Peter Parker. There's a moment of panic where Brian yells, "We're losing him!" But Ben quickly clarifies he means they're losing the structural integrity of their project. We also meet their teammate Astrid, a brilliant but incredibly cynical woman who immediately shoots down Brian's Nobel dreams and calls him an uncultured swine. The tension in this lab is thick enough to cut with a web line. Brian is clearly overworked, having been up for 3 nights, and Astrid roasts his messy code. It all comes to a head when Brian pulls Ben aside, paranoid that their boss, a Dr. O.M., sent Ben to spy on him. He thinks Ben is trying to steal a coveted position, but then he flips the script. Brian reveals he's actually fighting for Ben to get the promotion because Dr. O.M. loves Ben's work. He wants them to be a team, not rivals. But the whole conversation is laced with this weird, unresolved history, specifically something Brian calls the Pinker incident, which Ben claims to not remember. The whole scene ends with Brian telling a knackered and confused Ben that he needs to leave, for the brilliant of us both. This whole subplot is just dripping with corporate espionage and mystery, setting up a whole other conflict that's bound to explode down the line. Now this is where it gets absolutely mad, guys. The main story thread picks up with Spider-Man perched on a rooftop, watching a scene unfold that just boils his blood. A charismatic, white-haired man named Kingsley has just won a major court case, and he's basking in the media attention. As Kingsley walks to his car, he's greeted by a well-familiar face, Norman Osborn. At first, it's all handshakes and congratulations, but the friendly vibe evaporates instantly. It becomes clear that Norman basically bought Kingsley's victory, calling it an investment that he expects a return on. Norman is in full-on corporate shark mode, subtly threatening Kingsley and making it known that he now owns him. Kingsley, however, isn't easily intimidated. He fires back, asking Norman point-blank if he was the one who sent an assassin after him. Norman's non-answer says it all. The tension is incredible. But here's the twist. The entire conversation is being recorded by a mysterious spy in a blue cloak, who concludes that this new rivalry between two powerful men could be a huge advantage for their own cause, and that they might have just found a new ally in Kingsley. Witnessing this display of the rich and powerful getting away with everything sends our current Spider-Man into a spiral of frustration. He's haunted by memories of Norman's deceitful face, and other times the system has failed the little guy. This isn't the usual quippy, hopeful Spider-Man. This is a hero filled with a burning, righteous anger. He decides right then and there that he's done waiting, done planning. Tonight, he's going straight to the Hobgoblin's lair and ending this. This raw fury is what defines him. But just as he's about to take off, he's suddenly surrounded. It's the rest of the Spider family: Miles Morales, Silk, Aranya, and Spider-Boy. They immediately go on the defensive. Silk threatens to cocoon him if he moves, and it's clear they do not trust this new guy one bit. Miles steps up and asks the million-dollar question: why is he pretending to be Spider-Man? And that's when Silk drops the first massive bombshell of the issue. Their mate, Peter Parker, has vanished from New York. Holy cow! So Peter is officially missing. She explains her spider sense went nuts right after Peter disappeared, and that's when it picked up on this guy. Anxiously, she asks if Peter is still alive. Norman, in the Spidey suit, calmly confirms Peter is alive, which brings a wave of relief. But his cold, detached demeanor is so off-putting. He even makes a crack about buying the Daily Bugle for tax reasons, which is the most un-Spider-Man thing you could possibly say. It's a corporate mindset, not a hero's. Of course, a calm conversation was never going to happen. Silk demands he unmask, and when he refuses, the fight is on. The entire Spider team attacks him at once, and it's an incredible action sequence. But at first, Norman notes that they're all holding back, fighting him with kid gloves on, trying not to seriously injure him. This act of mercy, this perceived weakness, triggers something dark inside him. His mind flashes back to his abusive father, who taught him that fear is the only true way to earn respect and power. And just like that, Norman snaps. He stops holding back and goes completely brutal, grabbing Silk in a lock and threatening to put her in the hospital. His logic is twisted and terrifying. If he can't have their trust, he will have their fear. He is literally 1 second away from breaking Silk's arm, and it is a genuinely shocking and dark moment. But then, everything changes. A portal opens, and through it swings a hero no one expected to see: Spider-Gwen. The second Norman lays eyes on her, he freezes. The sight of Gwen Stacy's face, even from another dimension, shatters his entire aggressive persona. It's a direct, devastating psychological blow, reminding him of the Gwen from his world, one of his greatest and most tragic failures. All the fight drains out of him. He lets Silk go and stumbles back, looking at the young faces of Miles, Gwen, Cindy, and Anya, and he mutters in horror to himself, "I'm fighting children." It's in this moment of utter defeat and self-loathing that he does the unthinkable. He completely surrenders. He reaches up and slowly he pulls off his mask, revealing his true identity to the absolutely stunned and horrified Spider team. Standing before them is their greatest enemy, Norman Osborn. This is 100% the reveal we've been building towards, and it absolutely delivers on the shock value. This is setting up the upcoming Goblin War event, and it just flipped the entire board over. Seriously? This issue is a masterclass in tension and character development. The writing by Zeb Wells is just next level, juggling 4 different subplots: Jameson's comedy, the Rand corporate intrigue, the high-stakes game between Norman and Kingsley, and the explosive main confrontation, and making them all feel essential. And the art by John Romita Jr. is just iconic. The way he draws the raw emotion on Norman's face when he sees Gwen, and the sheer brutality of the fight scene is just phenomenal. This is an absolute must-read for anyone following this series or the Spider-Verse as a whole. It answers a huge question we've had for months while simultaneously posing a dozen new ones. Is Norman truly trying to be a hero? Can he be redeemed? And most importantly, where is Peter Parker? This is a game changer, plain and simple. My rating for this issue, a solid 9.5 out of 10. But I want to hear what you guys think. What was your biggest takeaway from the reveal that Norman Osborn is Spider-Man? Do you believe he's actually trying to be brilliant, or is this all part of some elaborate Green Goblin scheme? Let me know your predictions and theories down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do me a huge favor and smash that like button and subscribe for more comic book deep dives. Help the channel out by sharing this video with your fellow comic fans. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!